of the Homedale Board of Education. I'm Terrence Wall, Board President, Homedale High School, February 28, 2024, 7 p.m. I'd like to ask for a motion to return to public session. We were previously in executive session. May I have a motion, please?
Move.
Motion, second by?
Second.
Okay, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Wall,
Yes.
Mr. Reddy,
Yes.
Dr. Kalor,
Yes.
Mrs. Tassilo,
Yes.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes.
Mr. Mann,
Yes.
Mr. Lebechi,
Yes.
Mrs. Lopresti.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. We're going to call the meeting to order now. As set forth in item G, opening statement on the agenda and board policy, meetings of the board are open to the public and all members of the community should feel free to participate. There are two opportunities for the public to speak. The first is at the beginning of the meeting for agenda items only. And then the second is at the end of the meeting for any other items you wish to discuss. If you could please identify yourself when making a statement, and if you kindly keep your presentation as brief as possible, it would be appreciated. We'd like to now have a separate roll call. No? A separate roll call, please, and then we'll have a flag salute. Thank you.
Mr. Wall,
Here.
Mr. Reddy,
Here.
Dr. Kalor, Mr. Tassilo,
Here.
Mr. Buckley,
Here.
Mr. Mann,
Here.
Mr. Lebechi,
Here.
Mrs. Lopresti.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask our student representatives to kindly help us pledge allegiance to the greatest flag in the world, the United States of America. Thank you. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I'd now like to have Dr. Cascone begin one of two different presentations. The second is for our auditors, be recognition of Class 3 officers for the tremendous work that they do in keeping us safe every day. For the men and women in blue, thank you. Dr. Cascone.
Thank you, Mr. Wall.
I'm going to do that, but you don't have to do it till you can let him go first.
Okay.
I just ask the principals, principals or assistant principals to join me up here as we present the awards. So the last week, the 15th of February, is recognized as National Association of School Resource Officers Day, day where those individuals are recognized. Of course, we have only one school resource officer, which is Officer Nolan, but we have Class 3 officers in all of our buildings. We are tremendously fortunate to have their presence in our schools. I know that it is a tremendous comfort to our community, to our parents, to our staff, and to our students. But as importantly, they're fantastic guys. I mean, great human beings, great with our kids, really establishing positive relationships with our kids. And so, as we've done last year, the board and administration wanted to take an opportunity to publicly thank you, acknowledge your efforts, and to provide you with small tokens of our appreciation. So we're going to call you up. We have a certificate for you and a Homedale limited edition pin. We'll call it a badge of courage. So I can check. Okay, so we're going to start off with Officer Dave Buckle. Dave Buckle, come on up. Stay up here. We're going to do a picture. So just array yourself there in front of the board by the dais. Ms. Barrett, if you would join Officer Buckle, appreciate it. Officer Michael Nolan, School Resource Officer Michael Nolan, Homedale High School alumni. Michael, thank you, sir. Yeah. Officer Steve Doherty, Indian Hill. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you, sir. And last but not least, Big John Furch, Big Officer John Furch. Come on up, John. Just like to recognize officers who were not able to be in attendance tonight. Officer Michael Morelli, Officer Tom Foley, Officer Tony Geneva, Officer Jim Latella, and Officer Steve Sikowski. Another round of applause for our partners, faithful partners in law enforcement. If I could just ask the board members to stand up, maybe.
Thank you very much. You know, we'll do this a little bit different. You folks go that way. We're going to have the board members go up front because we have so many diminutive police officers. We're going to get everyone up front. So the board members, you can please come up front. We're just going to join all together and have a nice photograph. Thanks very much for your service. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks again. Ted, he is help. He is help. Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete. Once again, on behalf of the 3,000 students we have here, approximately their parents and guardians, thank you so much for keeping them safe every single day in the district. It's tremendously appreciated, never forgotten. Thank you very much. Thank you again. With that, our next presentation is our auditors. If you want to come up, please, and give your brief presentation on how we're doing. Mr. Patricia, do you want to tee it up? And then they'll share what maybe tee up the process and they could share the results.
Sure. We appreciate our team from PKF, O'Connor Davies, our auditors. We got Mr. Rob Provost, Mr. Anthony Caprio. We appreciate you coming tonight to present the results of the audit. And again, we appreciate all the efforts to you and your entire team. We truly appreciate the expertise and lens that you always provide us. So thank you.
Thank you, Michael. And right back at you guys. I mean, I really think you yourself, Jessica, and your entire team really does a fantastic job. And by that, it makes our job even easier. So I was going to go over the financial statements and the auditor's management report. Anthony Caprio, very quick, high level, just audit process, just so everyone kind of has an idea of what it really entails. So I'll start with the enterprise funds. Right now, your food service is approximately $232,000 net position. Your childcare programs is approximately $130,000 net position. Those are actually pretty good numbers. Those funds are not meant to really collect a significant amount of funds over time. So you're pretty much right where you want to be at. And I would add to that too, the Department of Agriculture this year contacted our firm and all firms saying that food service funds generally in the state are just collecting a lot of cash and they're not spending the cash. So I'm happy to say Homedale was not on that list that they contacted us. So like I said, those funds are pretty much right where they are. You just want to earn enough to kind of sustain the program. So excellent job with that. On the general fund side, your fund balance is approximately 5.8 million. And keep in mind that was a decrease from last year, but your revenue increased approximately 1.2% and expenditures increased 7.8%, heavily driven by fixed costs, health benefits, transportation costs, and those are just costs that you really can't avoid, but you do an excellent job controlling and being conservative where you can. So great job on that. And it's important to have a little cushion there because again, every year it seems like, as we all can feel in this room, everything just costs more every year as we come along. So that's all I really had in the financials. I was just trying to do a really high level where you guys are at. On the auditor's management report, I would say fantastic job. You have no findings at all, which I think Anette is going to go into what that really means because we really do a deep dive into all kinds of grants, but I don't want to take Anthony's thunder, so I'll move on from that. But you guys have an unmodified opinion, both on the financial statements and on single audit. So, and those are the best opinions you could have. So again, just kudos to your team, Michael and Jessica. We really, they're not empty words. We really think you guys work hard, you strive for the best, and it really shows. So with that, I'm going to have Anthony briefly go over the audit process at a high level. And thanks for your time.
Good evening. Again, my name is Anthony Caprio. A brief overview of what we do as part of our audit testing and field work. Each year, we test the rotation of our internal controls and internal control areas to ensure that proper adherence to policies and procedures are being taken. This year, we've tested cash receipts and cash disbursements and bids. Our testing is not just involved in the finance office, but we do test the individual schools. That includes student activities. Other areas of testing include journal entries, ASSA audited enrollments, encumbrances, payroll analytics, fixed assets, and long-term liabilities, among other things. One level of our testing includes getting confirmations from third parties. That gives us the highest level of our audit assurance. These areas we've gotten would be cash, grants, and state pension liability. We also do a general overview of all the funds individually, as well as the activity and transfers in between those funds. And we found no material problems or issues during the course of our audit fieldwork and testing. Thank you.
Again, guys, that's all we had, but we'd like to open up for any questions if you did have any. We know that's pretty high level, but
I don't have a question, but I just want to say thank you for your work. Michael, as always, thank you for your work, your department's work. Once again, perfect audit. So thank you.
agreed.
Ditto. Great work. Thank you.
Any other board members have a question or comment or concern? Thank you very much. Appreciate your time today. And thank you to the finance team for
Thank you very much.
continuing to look out for the very important dollars of taxpayers and how we deploy them in the district. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
So I'd like to add an item that to the official agenda that's from our executive session that we just had. And it is what's known as a slip sheet in school parlance, but it's adding an additional item. And it's to add an approval of a settlement agreement regarding a student with a coded number. And it's whereas a dispute exists regarding the Board of Education program provided by the Homedale Township Board of Education to the student number identified. And whereas the board has agreed to resolve all issues pursuant to a negotiated settlement agreement attached to this, it'd be a confidential exhibit. And therefore be it resolved that the Homedale Township Board of Education authorizes the board president to sign the agreement on behalf of the board and authorizes district officials to take all necessary steps to effectuate the terms of the agreement. This is not to vote on this item. This is to simply add it to the agenda. If we can have, if I can ask for a motion to add this to the agenda. And a second, please. Second, thank you. May we have a roll call? Mr. Patrizio? Okay.
Mr. Wall,
Yes.
Mr. Reddy,
Yes.
Dr. Kalura,
Yes.
Mrs. Tasillo,
Yes.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes.
Mr. Mann,
Yes.
Mr. Lebechi,
Yes.
Mrs. LaPresti.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate, yes, go ahead.
Yes, the was just slip sheet that was just read on for the record is now represents agenda item 44.
Thank you very much. Well, I would like to thank our student representatives of the board for being here and welcome. And if you'd like to share your report, we'd be thrilled to hear it.
Hi, everyone. The senior prom is Friday, June 7th at the Orem and Freehold, and prom tickets are $50 each. The signed contract and paperwork for the prom is due this Friday, March 1st. In addition, Project Graduation is having a Bubba Coos fundraiser from 12 to 8 on March 4th, which is actually a half day. So stop by for lunch or dinner, or maybe both if you're feeling especially hungry, and mention the Project Graduation fundraiser. In other fundraiser news, the Student Advisory Board is selling ceiling tiles for $30. Their ceiling tiles will be on display for years to come and are a nice way for students and club to leave their mark on the high school. The money raised from this will go towards the SAB scholarship. In other news, the Homedale High School will be taking part in Unplugging, where students drop off their phones in the lower commons for the day. While not everyone participated last year, those who did found it a rewarding and freeing experience. The event will take place on March 7th, and we are looking forward to this successful event yet again. Lastly, this past Tuesday, Guidance held a lunch and learn session regarding scholarships in the media center, and tomorrow during lunch, there will be a lunch and learn session with Chef Harkness in room 303. Thank you, and I will now be handing over the student report to Jack.
Thank you, Anuda. The junior class is now selling tickets for prom. The prom contract can be found in your email with all the necessary forms. Please bring your payment, cash or check, contracts, and table seating to Ms. Zuchek located in room 503 by March 28th. Next, we would like to congratulate all winter sports on a great season. Best of luck to all athletes participating in the spring season. Finally, adding on to what Anugna mentioned, the lunch and learn session yesterday was a great success. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback from students and believe that events like these help bring us closer together as students, as well as giving people a chance to interact with others that they may typically not. We would love to see student input when it comes to choosing some of the future topics. This concludes the student report for tonight. Thank you.
I apologize. Thank you very much. Report of the superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you, President Wool. Good evening, board members, administration, staff, and community members. Our school year is progressing swiftly as we approach the conclusion of our winter athletics season. Our athletes have showcased remarkable effort, grit, and determination, earning numerous accolades, including various sectional, state, district, regional, and league titles. Congratulations to all of our athletes and coaching staff. Our visual and performing arts programs and students are actively gearing up for spring concerts and musicals. I invite you to support the high school winter musical Little Women, which will run from Thursday, March 14th through Saturday, March 16th. The primary mission of our school district is to provide high-quality academic programming. As reflected in the previous updates, our district offers outstanding and comprehensive extracurricular offerings, including scholastic athletics, music, and theater. However, we also recognize that we have the resources and capacity to support the community's children in other ways. These efforts contribute to their overall health and well-being, enabling them to excel both academically and in extracurricular activities. Today, Detective John McGuire from the Homedale Police Department conducted a workshop on cyber safety and precautions for our 7th and 8th grade students. Given the increasing hazards online, parental involvement is crucial in our prevention and education efforts. I challenge parents and guardians to dedicate 15 to 30 minutes daily to understand the digital world and safeguard their children online. In furtherance of our commitment to student well-being, on March 2nd, we will offer free cardiac screenings to Homedale Public School students. Details for an additional screening later this spring will be shared soon. Additionally, the board will adopt a resolution this evening recognizing American Heart Month, emphasizing the importance of preventative habits, education, and a healthy lifestyle. Next week, the district will observe National SEL Day and celebrate SEL Week from March 4th through March 8th. SEL plays a vital role in developing healthy identities, managing emotions, fostering empathy, and making responsible decisions. These initiatives align with our district's ongoing focus on school culture and climate, as outlined in our 5-year strategic plan. Activities such as Mindful Monday, Talk to Me Tuesday, and Unplugged on Thursday, March 7th at Homedale High School aim to enhance student and staff well-being and the quality of our school environment. While academics remain our principal mission, we understand that organizational and school culture are essential for the success of both students and staff. And I just want to take a quick pause, and I just want to thank Mr. Howard. Mr. Howard is and the district school, the Culture and Climate Committee have spearheaded the SEL Week, and our principals have really and staff have really taken the ball and run with it. We have some amazing activities planned next week in this area. Mr. President, that concludes my report, which I respectfully submit into the record.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And just as a follow-on to the comment regarding the heart screenings for students, this is beyond your sports physical. This is for determining whether or not there are underlying issues that you may very well not be aware that can emerge in these years, these teenage years, such as hypertrophic cardiomyopathy and other underlying issues that would only express themselves with certain particular kinds of testing. So it's critical that folks engage in this testing or understand it and engage in it if they so choose. So do be on the lookout for that and take those exams very seriously. They can absolutely save a life. The next item would be
Terrence, I was gonna say, with the cardiac screening, I mean, it was I think the first session got filled, and I think, Scott, they're planning to do a second session already, from what I understand,
That's correct.
which is awesome. I mean, I know we've had I think it's been 4 or 5 years since we last did it, so I think this is a great thing that we brought back, and obviously COVID sort of shut it down, but I think it's like an annual thing is definitely a good thing for the kids and, the town.
And we continue to, Mr. Casal, I want to thank Mr. Casal. Mr. Casal has really, good night, has really taken the lead on this in terms of reaching out to partners. He continues to do that to try and expand our bench, if you will, of pediatric cardiology practices that are willing and able to engage with us in this. And the more partners we can bring on board, the more capacity we can have to offer them to our community.
Thank you very much. And we're absolutely looking for other cardiologists that would want to participate in the program. And we would urge the parents to oversubscribe the program, and then we'll continue to build capacity to, if we can, have every child tested. So thank you very much for that. And thank you, Board Member Reddy. Can we move on to the HIB report, please?
Yes, thank you, President. Well, yes, I submit the HIB report as presented in closed executive session into the record.
Are there any questions thus far? Okay, wonderful. Thank you. This is the public part, the first part of, if any members of the public have any questions on anything that's on the physical agenda or on the added item to the agenda. So it's just agenda items only, and open floor for any member of the public if you so choose. Don't all rush the mic. Oh. Mr. Dulo, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Low 3 Eagle Hill Road, here in Homedale. I am here representing the Homedale Softball Association. I just want to thank all of you for accepting our non-monetary donation of a softball pitching machine and 4 dozen softballs for the high school softball program. So thank you all very much. We really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And we're absolutely going to read that separately to express our thanks directly for that. I appreciate you teeing that up. Okay, so we're going to move on to action items. And one item we're going to manage separately, and which is the heart health resolution, which Dr. Kalor is going to be kind enough to read for us. We do have a doctor in the house. And so, but it will be voting on, it's item 1 through 6, 8 through 19. And I'll explain why this is the way. And just as a footnote, this agenda never made sense in the number of years I've been on the board. Starting next month, working with the superintendent's administrative team, it's going to make tremendous sense, and the categories are going to be modified. So it's really simple and different than you've been hearing for a number of years. So, but this is the last month of it. So it's items 1 through 6, 8 through 19, 23 through 36, 42, and 43. The items that are going to be separate are retirements, which we want to particularly acknowledge the fantastic work of staff.
Do you want to do the settlement at the same time or do that separate?
We could do this. Oh, I'm sorry. And adding 44 as well. Thank you, Mr. Trent. 42, 43, and 44, which is the item that we added. And also the tremendous work of benefactors and the organizations that are putting the children first with various levels of support. We're going to be reading those separately as well. So if we can take separately, if you don't mind, would you be kind enough to read, February is Heart Health Month, and American Heart Association is celebrating 100 years of working towards saving lives with the leading cause of death. And by education, communication, and programming that we have that you're hearing about for the next generation, that's how we can affect that positive change. So if Dr. Clory would be kind enough to read that resolution that ties to 7, and then we'll roll call on the items that we indicated.
Thank you, Terrence. I appreciate you giving me the privilege of reading this. Whereas cardiovascular disease remains the leading cause of death globally, and whereas raising awareness about heart health is essential in promoting preventive measures and reducing the risk factors associated with cardiovascular diseases. And whereas American Heart Month serves as a vital opportunity to educate our community about the importance of maintaining a healthy lifestyle, including regular physical activity, balanced nutrition, and regular health screenings. And whereas by fostering awareness and encouraging proactive measures, we can empower individuals to take charge of their heart health and make informed choices for themselves and their families. And whereas on Saturday, March 2nd, the Homedale Public Schools, in partnership with Dr. Laura Bolos of Heart Pediatrics, is sponsoring free cardiac screenings at Homedale High School for students. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of Homedale Public Schools hereby recognizes the month of February as American Heart Month and pledges its commitment to promoting heart health education and awareness initiatives throughout our schools and community.
Thank you very, very much. So we'll be looking in a moment for a motion to approve items 1 through 7, 8 through 19 from the agenda, 23 through 36, and items 42, 43, and 44 that was added. Separated will be retirements that we want to read separately to acknowledge the fantastic work of the folks that are on the next stage of the journey, and also the incredible work of folks that are working towards putting children first and their contributions of various type for sports and other related infrastructure for the students. So may I have a motion on 1 through 7, 8 through 19, 23 through 36, 42, 43, and 44.
Move.
May I have a second? Okay, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Wall,
Yes, with an abstention on item 29.
Mr. Reddy,
Yes.
Dr. Kalor,
Yes.
Mrs. DeSillo,
Yes, with an abstention on 32E.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes.
Mr. Mann,
Yes.
Mr. Lemecchi,
Yes.
Mrs. Lepresti.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Board Member Lepresti, would you be kind enough to read item 20, acceptance of retirement media specialist, Village School?
Whereas Mrs. Heidi Bazanga has served the Homedale Township Public Schools with distinction since September 1st, 2003. And whereas Mrs. Bazanga has faithfully executed her duties with skill and competency. And whereas Mrs. Bazanga has earned the respect of her colleagues and community residents. And whereas Mrs. Bazanga has submitted a letter announcing her retirement from the Homedale Township School District effective July 1st, 2024. Now therefore be it resolved that the Homedale Township Board of Education accepts Mrs. Bazanga's retirement with deep gratitude for Mrs. Bazanga's dedication, loyalty, and outstanding services performed, and further extend to Mrs. Bazanga its best wishes for a happy and healthy retirement.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion? Second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call?
Mr. Wall,
Yes, congratulations.
Mr. Reddy,
Yes, congratulations.
Dr. Kalor,
Yes, congratulations.
Mrs. DeSillo,
Yes, congratulations.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes, congratulations.
Mr. Mann,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Lemecchi,
Yes, congratulations.
Mrs. Lepresti.
Yes, congrats.
Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Board Member Lebechi, will you be kind enough to read item 21, acceptance of retirement elementary teacher, Indian Hill School?
Sure. Could I just confirm the pronunciation of the last name? Jaspersi? Jaspers.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Whereas Ms. Colleen Jaspers has served the Homedale Township Public Schools with distinction since September 1st, 1999, and whereas Ms. Jaspers has faithfully executed her duties with skill and competency, and whereas Ms. Jaspers has earned the respect of her colleagues and community residents, and whereas Ms. Jaspers has submitted a letter announcing her retirement from Homedale Township School District effective July 1st, 2024. Now therefore it be resolved that the Homedale Township Board of Education accepts Ms. Jesper's retirement with deep gratitude for Ms. Jesper's dedication, loyalty, and outstanding services performed, and further extend to Ms. Jesper's its best wishes for a happy and healthy retirement.
Thank you very much. May we have a motion?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Wall,
Congratulations and thank you. Members of my family have been honored to be in your classroom. So really appreciate all the fantastic work that you've done and wishing you all the best in the future.
Mr. Reddy.
Yes, echo what Terrence said. I know you, Colleen, taught at least one of my boys, great teacher, will be sorely missed, hard to replace. Thank you for your 25 years and well-deserved. Congratulations.
Dr. Kalor,
Yes, thank you. Congratulations.
Mrs. Tassilo,
Yes, congratulations.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes, congratulations.
Mr. Mann,
Yes, thank you. Congratulations.
Mr. Lebechi,
Yes, congratulations.
Mrs. LaPresti.
Yes, thank you and congrats.
Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And earlier I was speaking with Board Member Tusil about item 22, which is the acceptance of retirement school nurse in Village School.
Yes. So the acceptance of retirement school nurse at Village School, whereas Miss Frances Fowley has served the Homedale Township Public Schools with distinction since September 1 of 1999. And whereas Miss Flannelly has faithfully executed her duties with skill and competency, and Miss Flannelly has earned the respect of her colleagues and community residents, and whereas Miss Flannelly has submitted a letter announcing her retirement from Homedale Township School District effective July 1, 2024. And now therefore be it resolved that the Homedale Township Board of Ed accepts Miss Flannelly's retirement with deep gratitude for her dedication, loyalty, and outstanding services performed, and further extend to Miss Flannelly its best wishes for happy and healthy retirement. All of my kids have gone through Miss Flannelly's office, every single one of them. And she's one of the unsung heroes. All the nurses are unsung heroes, but her in particular, I just, she's always just a kind soul to all of my kids. So congratulations.
It's very well said. When we have a motion, please.
Move.
A roll call.
Mr. Wall,
Yes, congratulations and thank you for everything you do for the children.
Mr. Reddy,
Yes, thank you very much. Congrats.
Dr. Kalor,
Yes, thank you very much.
Mrs. Tassilo,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Mann,
Yes, thank you. Congratulations.
Mrs. Lebechi,
Yes, thank you.
Mrs. LaPresti.
Yes, thank you and congratulations.
Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you very, very much. Board Member Buckley, would you be kind enough to read item 37, acceptance of a monetary donation from the Homedale Foundation for Educational Excellence, HFEE?
Gladly, Terrence, thank you. Acceptance of monetary donation from the Homedale Foundation of Educational Excellence. Resolved that the board accept with gratitude a monetary donation from the Homedale Foundation for Educational Excellence in the amount of $118,418.27 to the fund the Math Mobility Program at Indian Hill School, WR Sat School, and Homedale High School.
Thank you very much. Roll call. Sorry, yes,
Move.
and move. A second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Wall,
Yes, thank you for a tremendous donation.
Mr. Reddy,
Yes, this one's outstanding. Look forward to the success. It helps with the math program in Indian Hill and SATS and the high school.
Dr. Kalor,
Thank you very much. Yes.
Mrs. Tassilo,
Yes, thank you for your generosity.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes, thank you for your generosity.
Mr. Mann,
Yes, thank you very much. It's amazing. Thank you.
Mr. Lebechi,
Yes, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Mrs. LaPresti.
Yes, thank you for the generous donation.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Board Member Reddy has a well familiar with the Homedale High School PTSO. If you'd be kind enough to read item 38, which acceptance of non-monetary donation from the Homedale High School PTSO.
Yes, sir. 38, acceptance of non-monetary donation from the Homedale High School PTSO. Resolved that the board accept with gratitude a non-monetary donation from the Homedale High School PTSO of furnishings for the Homedale High School Senior Lounge at a cost not to exceed $30,000.
Thank you very much. We have a motion.
Move.
Motion. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Wall,
Yes, thank you very much.
Mr. Reddy,
Yes, for sure. I know Barbara Singer isn't in the audience, so I think she deserves a special shout out for here. I know she's been working on this project for the better part of this year. This is a tremendous, tremendous thing because, for so many years, not that seniors don't have a spot, but now they're going to have a spot, and it's literally right above us. It's going to be awesome. I mean, there's already, I know, foosball and furniture and everything else. And I think this is a gift that's for years and years and years is going to only get better, and the kids can make it what they want to make it. And I think it gives the seniors a special, like, hey, you guys are special. You are the leaders of the school. You're the final year. I mean, I'm glad that 2 senior parents in the audience here are going to have their children at least get a few months of use out of it, hopefully. But this is a great thing. So absolutely yes. And thank you. And, all your efforts are definitely going to be useful.
Dr. Clore,
Yes, thank you very much.
Mrs. Tasillo,
Yes, thank you for the generous donation. I'm sure my daughter will look forward to using it in a couple of years.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes, thank you for the donation.
Mr. Mann,
Yes, thank you very much.
Mr. Lepecci,
Yes, thank you so much.
Mrs. Lepresti.
Yes, thank you.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item, Board Member Gisela's connection to the nurse's office may have some connection to the next resolution I'd like her to read, because I know she also has some familiarity with the Homedale Softball Association. Would you be
Yes.
kind enough to read acceptance, item 39, acceptance of non-monetary donation from the Homedale Softball Association?
Yes, teed up by Mr. Dulo, who is in the audience. Resolved that the board accept with gratitude a non-monetary donation from the Homedale Softball Association of a Jugs SP3 pitching machine and 4 dozen Kevlar coated 12-inch softballs that are specifically designed for pitching machines at a total estimated cost of $4,600. Thank you in advance. But, and I move.
Thank you very much. May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Wall,
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dulo, and to the team. Appreciate it.
Mr. Reddy,
Big yes. It's cool that the baseball team got a pitching machine this year, and now the softball team was. It saddens me it's taken us this long to get it, but hey, I'm happy we have it, and for all the kids that are going to come after this, they're going to benefit, and the 2 sports that definitely this will definitely help. So thank you.
Dr. Clore,
Yes, thank you very much.
Mrs. Tasillo,
Yes, thank you for the generous donation. I was a part of this association up until this year, now that my oldest daughter is not playing softball this spring, but don't worry, I have more to come.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes, thank you very much for the generosity.
Mr. Mann,
Yes, thank you for the generous donation.
Mr. Lepecci,
Yes, thank you very much.
Mrs. Lepresti.
Yes, thanks so much.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And complimenting the local work for the district. Corporations have also taken note of Homedale schools. If Board Member Mann would be kind enough to read item 40, which is the acceptance of a monetary donation from the Exxon Mobil Education Alliance for Indian Hill School.
Sure, no problem. So resolved that the board accept with gratitude a monetary donation from the ExxonMobil Educational Alliance for Indian Hill School in the amount of $1,000 to utilize on science, technology, engineering, and math education.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Roll call.
Mr. Wall,
Yes, thank you very much.
Mr. Reddy,
Yes, thank you.
Dr. Clore,
Yes, thank you very much.
Mrs. Tasillo,
Yes, thank you very much.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Mann,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Lepecci,
Yes, thank you.
Mrs. Lepresti.
Yes, thanks.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And if Dr. Clory would be kind enough to read the last item there, which is item 41, acceptance of monetary donation, also again from the Exxon Mobil Education Alliance, in this case for Homedale High School.
That the board accept with gratitude a monetary donation from ExxonMobil Educational Alliance for Homedale High School in the amount of $1,000 to utilize on science, technology, engineering, and math education. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion?
Move.
A second. Second? Have a roll call, please.
Mr. Wall,
Yes, thank you again.
Mr. Reddy,
Yes. Thank you.
Dr. Kalor,
Yes, thank you very much.
Mrs. Tosillo,
Yes, thank you very much.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes, thank you again.
Mr. Mann,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Lepecki,
Yes, thank you.
Mrs. Lepresti.
Yes, thanks again.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That now brings us to old business. Do any board members have any item in old business? Hearing none, I have one. A couple of years ago, I had spoken to the former intern superintendent at a board meeting to discuss a topic that is a little bit, new to folks. Some not. Certainly not the University of Austin Business School. Certainly not the University of London and colleges across the country. Hologram classrooms. If you think AI is cutting edge, it's not. If you just go to Gemini and ask them for an aardvark and they send you an antelope, right? So technology is certainly not perfect, but hologram classrooms strike many as a topic. Like, what could you possibly be talking about? Major universities are putting in place this technology, and what I'd asked for a couple of years ago, there's usually a 6-year latency, right? To set up a test classroom, for example, with STEAM or just a regular classroom. So what do I mean? If you have a son or daughter who's in Italian 4, and the teacher is on more than just a short-term leave, very difficult to have someone with that ability to actually pick it up and teach that class, or advanced calculus or chemistry or AP physics, number of different ones, where you have a prolonged period where you have a substitute. It's important, but that rigor and these other things that we would talk about, you can have parents, and I'm sure there are plenty of examples that are wondering what is happening in this classroom, but life happens, right? So what's a hologram classroom? Italian 4 is an example. The instructor is out, say it's a brief illness, everything's fine, but you have a few weeks out. What do you do? Especially if you cannot recruit, train, or have an individual to handle it. There are companies where you can contract, and it might be, Maria in Milan as an example, and she's in a green room, her own green room. And with the technology and the speed, she is looking into the classroom here. And the children, I believe, I'm not a tech person, but I believe it's Azure technology, HoloLens, and other types of technology where they physically see, and the teacher, she physically sees them, and she teaches Italian 4, or AP physics, or calculus, or chemistry, and you don't miss a beat. So this is old business. It's really not new. It's, I would just suggest folks, Google it. Don't go to Gemini. I don't know what it'll give you. But Google it, hologram classrooms, and you'll see a classroom of the future. This isn't to displace the educational community, but if you have advanced studies, which we do, advanced curriculum, which we do, partnership with Stockton, University of Delaware, NJIT, which we do, and then part of that protocol is having advanced classwork, and there's an illness or other FMLA, any number of different things, and that classroom screeches to a halt. It doesn't have to, is my point. And it's not my idea. There's nothing new about it, but it just may be, well, it is. It would be new here. And I'd like to pick up at a future meeting, what does the classroom, it's not a Promethean board. That's not the classroom of the future. It's hologram training live with green room on both, on the side of the instructor, where the students see that instructor. They know it's a hologram, but there's interaction where the individual, whether they're in Italy or wherever across the globe, they see and are actually interacting live with the students. It's fantastic technology. So you'll see at University of London, Austin Business School, which they ran it all through COVID, universities in Florida and others. You're going to start hearing about this a lot more, so I may as well just hear it now if it's for the first time. And Google it, take a look at it, and then bring back your own thoughts and say, hey, you know what, maybe we should look at that. Well, what is the cost profile for that? How much is it to contract out 3 weeks of Italian 4, Latin? How many Latin subs are we going to bring in on a moment's notice? Not very many, right? So that's just something I wanted to bring to administration's attention. It's not new business. It's actually a couple of years old, but I wanted to put that out there again with a new board and with new ideas, and we have many new folks in administration and folks that just want to be cut loose to go to the next level. So I just wanted to share that for K through 12, not just high school, any grade. And I'm glad the administrative folks are here too. If something here makes sense, we're just volunteer board members. Run it through the pipeline, through the chain of command, and let's see what we can do and perhaps fund so we can go to the next level while other folks are just starting to think about AI. So that's what I wanted to share with you from my side. So thank you for listening to that.
Yeah, I'm familiar with this because I know technology companies use it, and my husband works for a university. Universities do use it. I sort of assumed it would be, and didn't imagine it could come to schools because I thought the cost would be prohibitive, unless it'll help us reduce payroll or something. So that's the only way we can possibly adjust it because the costs are very high.
Well, I personally think it's a fantastic idea. Not only does it open up doors for other opportunities for other speakers that normally might not be able to come to our schools to speak to the students. It's not just something where we're trying to help substitute teachers come in and take the place of, somebody that couldn't teach a class, but you could get people from all over the world to be able to speak to our children in a more informal type of way and get through to them. And I think it just opens a lot of doors, keeps us really on the cutting edge. And what we're trying to do is make sure that our students have everything that they need to get ahead in this world. So I think it's a fantastic idea to look into.
Thank you for that. Any
I
other
think
comments?
hologram is more useful for a smaller size group because then you feel that the person is there. In a bigger group, kind of a televised streaming would be good enough on a screen, but it is more for smaller, more intimate settings because you actually feel the person is with you.
Thank you for that. And the nice thing about did you have more? Oh, the nice thing about that 10 minutes, I'm sorry, board member, the president.
No, I was saying it's a fascinating concept, and I know it's not really an educational kind of analogy, but I know me and the kids and my husband enjoyed watching the hologram dance monsters, where these people are behind this green screen or whatever you call it, and they're hologramming these monsters so you can't judge it like by how the person looks or something. So it's a fascinating concept. I'm going to have to Google it, not Gemini it or whatever it is.
Yeah, no,
but-
I was just some of the other services that are out there. Google is having a little re-engineering issue right now. No, so thank you for that. The nice part about the 10 minutes that we just spoke is more than the entire district has ever spoken about that in the history of the entire district. So that's a good 10 minutes. So we're going to move now to new.
I just want to wish good luck to Dr. Kalor, who is about to go on a trek to Nepal. And so she'll be, doing things that I could never dream of doing.
Wow.
And so we'll be missing her at our meetings next month because she'll be gone for 2 weeks, and just good luck. And I have all the faith that it's going to go beautifully. She's been training for a long time for this. So just good luck.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thank you very much.
We expect you to be here via hologram.
I hope to be here in a whole piece rather than hologram when I come back.
That's great. Well said. Well said. Thank you for that. And congratulations, all the best. That's really incredible. We'd love to hear when you come back. Yeah.
I would like a slideshow presentation.
Yeah, no pressure. All right. Thank you very much for that. So with that, we move on to new business. Are there any items from the board under new business that you'd like to share or put on the table?
Terrence, I got one or two. So one, Scott, or routed through Terrence possibly. So our trophy cases out there, if anyone hasn't noticed, they're from like 1972, 1976. It's cool, but I think a refresh, it should be at least put on the agenda, on the radar. I mean, especially if you walk down to the auxiliary gym, we just have trophies just sitting there. So if I want to take the 1984, the Buckley State Championship or sectional champion, I could just walk out with it. So not that it happens, because it hasn't happened, obviously, but I think with all those athletes and all those kids that have come before all of us here, we can do better. So definitely, I mean, the trophy case and the good thing is we have wall space and everything else. So I think it's a nice project. I think it's a big project. It's not simple, but something, we've never really talked about it over the years, but I think it's definitely something that this district, for all the accolades and things they've done within the athletics, we should manage that better possibly. And then the second thing, the ski club. So there was a ski club back, I think, when Mr. Buckley might have been at school.
It was at SATS too.
Yeah, SATS,
Like
correct.
it started at SATS.
So my wife went on it, and it's actually on Friday for the first time. There's 40 kids that will be going. Kudos to Mr. Quinn for being the liaison. I actually am getting roped into going because my son started the ski club. So, hopefully they'll get the first one, and next year it's sold out in seconds, like it was a Britney Spears concert.
That's awesome.
Where are they going?
They're going to Blue Mountain after school. Thank you to
That's
Dr.
where we went.
Dakota
when-
letting the
in
kids out.
SATS, that's where we went also.
So there you go.
Right?
So the goal will be next year to do two trips and they're, keep it going. So I figured I'd mention that.
Hope conditions are good.
Thank you very much, Board Member. Reddick.
I
Did you
know.
have some- Do any other board members have anything under new business? No? Okay, great. Thank you. We would like to now open it up to questions or comments from the public on any issue at all. If you'd like to come up. Good evening, welcome.
Eli Road. I see Dr. Irwin over here, so this may not be the right discourse for this, but the Honda Hornet Exchange Program that Dr. Irwin emailed out, just want to know more about it. There was going to be how it's going to run and all that. So,
Well, you're in the right place at the right time.
okay.
If you want to carve out 60 seconds or perhaps 90 to share what the outline is, or you could also, she'll be here after the meeting as well and can get into the detail.
Okay.
Dr. Irwin, do you want to give a quick top line?
Hi, everyone. Thank you. So what we did is I just positioned myself. I don't know how I'm speaking over here. What we did is we're trying to we know that there's a lot of expertise in our community, and we just really want to figure out who those people are and how they're willing to help. So right now we have about 80 people that responded. We actually did just speak about this at our admin team meeting yesterday, and I'm never going to close that application. It's going to be open because anytime we go to events or we meet people, it's just a way for us to, put our name out there in our work. So there's different avenues. So what I'm going to do from this point forward is create first a directory of like a who's who in this, so we can put everybody together all in one place. Right now, for like individual projects for this school year, our supervisors and our content teams, our principals are going to have the list. And like, for instance, if we have a bioengineering class and there's somebody that can show how to model like a transplant with a heart and a thing, like we can have our science supervisor reach out. However, that's just in our infancy. What we plan to do next is really to create like a job board. So almost like if you were to do like a classifieds and our teachers can post what they're looking for, or vice versa. The individuals, the experts in our community can post opportunities they have, and this will be a job board where people have like a login and then they can go see it. And it's a fluid exchange, really just to bring expertise into our classrooms. And also, aside from that, like internship opportunities, work experiences, professional networking, helping with college applications and knowing what's out there. So I think the first few steps is really just pulling it all together, building the directory, and then starting to vet people, see how there are, what they can offer. We already have 1 or 2 people that we've been working with that are helping us with something new. And I'm just excited to see where this goes. So right now it's just matching projects, but I think as we build it, it'll really be like a classifieds.
Well, thank you very much. And so far there are, how many do we currently have in the roster?
80.
All right, we have 80. Okay, that's 8, which is awesome out of thousands of brilliant people in this town.
Please,
So
I'll
for,
put the link up.
right.
Yeah, it's
so for
always
the,
open.
so for the thousands of brilliant parents and guardians and folks that live in town, and folks that perhaps their children are, living in different states, but they're still here and they're part of the community. What are, say, just 3 key reasons they should contact the district, and how do they contact the district if someone sends them the video of this meeting and says, listen, they have 80, they should have 480? Like, what are the key bullets for the individual who is producer at CBS, neurosurgeon, eye surgeon? What are the key items? Just 3 quick bullet points, and how do they reach you when they realize that this
So
is
if
something that
anyone
the community
has
should do?
any questions pertaining to the program, please email me at jirwin@homedaleschools.org. That's JIRWIN. And as far as the link to the survey and a description about the program, that is on my main site. If you go to homedaleschools.org and go to curriculum, it's right there on the main page.
And what are the 3 key reasons people should call?
One, I think it's just a reminder of we're gonna expire in some time, and this is the best way to build the future generation to take your field and carry the work forward, right? It's building the next generation of people. 2, I think this is a great town with a lot of pride, and it's just the best way to give back is to help the kids that are the direct reflection of that. 3, I think we get better when we fine tune our school skills. You know, if you talk about Bloom's taxonomy, which is really optimal, like if memorization is level 1, like teaching to understand that synthesis is level 6. And the best way that adults can get better in their field and our kids could get better is taking mastery and breaking it down to others in a way that they can understand it. So I think it'll help our experts become even better. Our kids ask really good questions sometimes that we never think of, that builds our own craft. I know I get questions a lot that makes me fine tune what I do. And I think our kids will get better because of it. And that's really what education and principles of democracy to me are all about.
Thank you. And by expire, you mean our short time on earth, not with the label on the back of milk, right?
Yes.
Okay, so on the short time that we're here on this planet is giving back to the next generation.
Yes.
So please call. We would welcome it. It would be wonderful. Do any other board members? Thank you. Sure. Did that answer your question? Okay. Are there any other questions from the public on any matter at all? Okay, seeing none, thank you for that. Are there any other closing comments or thoughts from the
Just
board?
in
Dr.
relation to
Kalor?
that, and I put my the name of my office for students to apply for observership, internship, or anything. But I don't think a lot of my colleagues would have even been aware of it. So I think we should reach out to more than the school parents. In fact, the parents whose children are not in school are the ones who will have more time to do this, really. So I think we should really reach out to the larger community.
Maybe via the
Maybe
township
the
committee,
township,
you know,
yeah,
through
maybe
Rocco and
that
DJ and those
newsletter.
folks.
Terrific.
Exactly.
Yeah, we could add that to the next item for the
Tap
liaison.
into Homedale.
Right. I abstain. So thank you. Are there any other items for the board? Well, seeing as that we're not going to go back to executive session, unless you'd like to absorb an additional 3 hours of your time this evening. No? Okay.
Move. No.
Motion to adjourn?
Move.
Okay. Second. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed, abstentions? No. Motion carried. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great night. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your evening at 7:57. Thank you.